Welcome to Profitable Women, a podcast for the female business owner who wants to build a profitable and sustainable business that aligns with their life. We will talk about the money stories impacting your decisions, financial strategies to grow your profits, and how to embrace your female superpowers. I'm your host, Sheila Hansen, certified public accountant, business mentor, and certified coach. As a mom of three and business owner, I have spent the last 7 years supporting six-figure business owners make confident financial decisions while raising my babies. After making the hard decision to leave my job at a public accounting firm when I had my oldest, I'm now on a mission to empower women to build wealth without sacrificing themselves. If you find yourself avoiding conversations about money, are burnt out from working all the time, wonder where your cash goes, or want to learn how to pay yourself six figures, you're in the right place. Remember, the information in this podcast is general in nature and for educational purposes only. For specific financial advice for your situation, please consult a professional. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to the show. Welcome back to another episode of Profitable Women and the final episode of our little mini series on taking a break from your business. Go back, check out those last few episodes if you have not listened to those already. They are full of nuggets about the time where I was planning and preparing to take a vacation, therefore taking unplugged time from my business. And in today's episode, I'm going to summarize what I've learned and what I will be implementing going forward, having gone through that unplugged time in my business. So as I reflect back on what I learned from taking that break, there was planning and preparation. I've shared that in the other episodes of what I was doing along the way to be able to unplug. And it was really being able to have systems and processes in place, be able to rely on my team, and just being really clear on what we provide and how we provide it, and having that information documented in workflows and operating procedures, setting up those systems that whoever from the team needs to access certain information is able to do that in a way that works within our business model. And so being able to reflect back on it after it happened, I am extremely grateful for that time away. And it's something that I had been doing in smaller doses of throughout the summer, just kind of slowing down and maybe not being quote unquote like on all of the time, feeling the need to always be in the business. So there were moments of that prior to this vacation, but this vacation for me really ended up being a full test, if you will, but also a reset in some ways on my nervous system, because I think we have to give ourselves that opportunity to really learn that things won't fall apart in maybe the way that our fears and the stories in our head say that they will. When we've done the planning and the preparation for it, we really are rewarded with this break and this time away. And it can happen successfully, even if leading up to it, our mind wants to come up with a different story. And so really getting to go through that 10 days of being unplugged and letting things operate without me tweaking and getting in there really did allow my nervous system to relax. And while the first day of travel, we were still here within the States, I still had my email connected during that time. But then once we were getting ready to take the international flight is where I deleted it off. And so I was still heightened when it was connected, but I found it really didn't take too much time after that first day or two. Maybe it was the exhaustion of being up for close to 24 hours or 18 hours that first day of travel. But I found very quickly I was able to feel at ease and actually relax I did not find that I was spending very much time at all really thinking about the business and what was happening. And I was able to relax in that after the first couple of days. And then even coming home, I will say there was an anticipation of getting my email connected again so I could see what happened in there, what was going on. And there was a lot of reassurance when I did of the standard things being in there that I expected to be in there, a few things that came up that my team handled in the way that I had prepared for them to, in the way that clients knew it would be them that were responding. So there was really not very much that I had to address from that time away. If anything, I learned that I use my, call it work email for personal things like kids' school communication and whatnot. And so I think my biggest takeaway was maybe getting some of that transferred to a different email address that it wouldn't be as big a deal for me to like disconnect from, because in this instance, the timing was scheduling parent-teacher conferences, those kinds of things. So while they maybe didn't need my immediate attention, I realized long-term, if I'm wanting to take a break from my work email, those kinds of things maybe need to be addressed. So I still have access to some of that. But that was really my biggest takeaway, being able to identify that separation of things, and that by giving myself that opportunity, it really didn't take me that long to relax, knowing that the systems and structure were in place. Let's pause the content of the episode to talk about taxes for a minute, because they're not just a once-a-year thing. They're one piece of the financial pie, but not the whole thing. When you're running a business, waiting until March or April to think about taxes is like waiting until harvest season to start planting seeds. You need regular financial conversations, you need up-to-date financial data, and you need a strategy that supports all the moving parts: your income, your expenses, your growth, and yes, your taxes too. So here's your reminder. Don't wait until tax season to find your accountant. Build that relationship now, before the holidays and year-end rush, so you can fully take advantage of their expertise and secure your spot on their calendar. At Sheila Hansen LLC, we're currently accepting new business clients through our monthly support packages. That means you don't just get help at tax time, you get support all year long. We'll keep your numbers organized, your strategy aligned, and your peace of mind intact. You can learn more and apply at hansenllc.net, because your finances deserve attention year-round, not just in April. Now back to the episode. Now, integrating back in to work after having been gone, having a relaxing, resting period, for me personally, it has really brought up, and I've been able to more clearly see the things that are no longer aligned for me or my business. And it's kind of been in a way that I think I knew it before. I was aware of it, but now it's to a point like I can't ignore it. So I don't want to say it broke me. That's the story, that the wording I have right now. I think it is finally getting me to a place of really addressing what is no longer aligned in a way that it's so apparent that I can't continue to operate with that out of alignment. And the other thing that I will be implementing or kind of taking forward from this is obviously more regular breaks, whether that is just over the weekends, taking my work email off my phone, whether that is, I don't know if it'll be monthly, but at least a quarterly couple day break every now and then. I will be much better about kind of especially using the school schedule for the kids when they have days off. It's really a day off for mom as well, rather than kind of being a still check in on things. Because what I find is when I am connected in that way, there is emails or things that come in that I wouldn't sit down and address knowing it's there. It is something that I can truly address the next time I am in my work hours, if you will. But I find that knowing about it, it takes up mental energy, even though I don't sit down and do the thing. And so learning to trust that I don't need to be aware of all of those, that I can address whatever is in my inbox the next time I work. And the unknown, I can change the narrative that it's not as scary of what might be in there waiting to blow up. It might just be, this needs my attention when I have time to give it my attention, but it's not a bad thing. Really learning to trust that is a lesson that I learned from all of this. So those regular breaks of really just getting to unplug. The other piece of it is, having gone through this, the structures, the process, really being able to continue with that and identify the next layer of what would need to be covered or what could we cross-train on so that we have a complete team in the same way that I took a break, giving my team members a chance to take a break and unplug as well. So really just being a well-rounded, fill in for each other's tasks team. Also, the piece of it that I want to implement is along the lines of out of alignment, but also just with boundaries and processes. I've got to experience this as well from working with other service providers and them holding boundaries for me, and really learning that that is a benefit to everyone. And so in the way that we want to be flexible and understanding, sometimes we still have to hold to deadlines or communicate, here's when things are needed, how they're needed, this is the method, this is the process, and really creating that structure across the board for all of our clients, because it has started to become a more apparent to me when we have situations that fall outside of that standard, just how much it really does get in the way of the workflow for everybody, and really does change the output, the deliverable, and the service we're able to provide to the client when those boundaries, rules, workflows, whatever you want to call them, are not adhered to. And getting to be on the other side of it when somebody holds me accountable to that, I can see how it really does hold me accountable, and that it actually is for my benefit that they have those structure and that process in place. And so really seeing that as a value add and a benefit for both sides. And, in the same way, there is still room for cushion and understanding and knowing that things come up. And so it's not that it's absolute yes or no, but really having those boundaries that people can follow. Going forward, I will for sure be implementing to allow, again, for this not feeling like I need to be on all of the time or always connected in that way, but still being able to know that my clients are getting their questions, their concerns answered in a timely manner when they have them. And the last thing I want to say is this trip really honed in on the concept for me that rest is not a reward. It really is part of the system and the structure. And I will know for sure, it will be a checkpoint and a metric for me going forward, that if I don't have that space, if I am getting back to a place where I don't feel as though I can take the rest because the work is becoming much more, that I really do need to reflect and reanalyze how we're operating, because rest is such a big piece of then being able to show up fully for our clients, do the work that I'm wanting to do in a meaningful way. And so as you've listened to this mini series, I hope you understand or have heard that message throughout, and that it does take some preparation and planning, but there is so much good that can come when you structure your business this way, and that we're not meant to be on and in it all the time. So if you've been feeling like you can't step away, I hope this series and this episode specifically reminds you that your business can hold on when you have systems and support and trust to let it. So until next time, here's to creating more space, more profit, and more peace, and more presence in your life.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Profitable Women. Make sure you never miss an episode by hitting the follow button in your favorite podcast player. And things are always easier when you talk about them with a friend, so be sure to share this episode with them. If you're looking for more ways to grow your financial confidence, head to the show notes for a link to subscribe to our weekly email. Until next time.